Today I want to make one of my favorite kinds of rocks, and that's a mushroom. So I've just got a plain rock that I've washed and dried, and I'm going to put a background on it just to give the mushroom something to pop from. I'm just using your basic cosmetic sponge here. There's no rules to this. I just want something on the back for my mushroom to kind of stick out from and give a little interesting detail. So I just picked a couple neutral colors that I like and maybe kind of also give the impression that I've got a nature background behind. Okay, we're gonna go back to our mushroom, and that is the base coat that we've dried, and I'm just gonna go in with a contrasting color, and I'm gonna make a big mushroom cap. There is no real shape when you're making mushroom caps. They can pretty much be anything you want. So I always start with kind of a motion like that, and then I'll go up. So I've got something like that, and then you can go back and fill it in if you need to. I'm not ready to actually color it in yet because the paint is not that dry, but I wanted to get my base coat done, or my mushroom shape. I'm using the Art Deco Gold for the stock because I love this stuff. So I'm just gonna draw my stock. Again, these are so not realistic, but kind of has a, you know, bulb on the end. So I have my general shape there, and I want the bottom to sort of show through, so we'll put a little you know, that'll be where the bottom of the mushroom cap will be visible. So I just like to make that so I have my back shape. I've got it done. I can fill it in. And obviously we're not even using that background that I made, but it just provides a background for the color to actually pop. So we've got the mushroom shape. I'm just going to wait a little bit for that to dry, and then I'll be coloring it in. And then comes the fun part when we actually start creating the mushroom cap. Fun fact, when you are using the Thule Art Essentials, no matter what one you're using, fine tip, medium, brush, they're all going to have that same number. So I know that my cap is going to be that number 10 pink, so I can go ahead and fill that in with whichever tip I want to use. Okay, so I went ahead and painted the base, or the cap, sorry, a little bit darker and put another coat on it. And I am going to go ahead and make my stock a little bit thicker because we're going to actually turn this into a little mushroom house. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Thule Art brush flow, and I'm just going to go ahead and make my little door. It's just kind of just a placeholder. We'll go ahead and add all the details and stuff later to make it look good. And I'm also going to give myself a rough outline just so I know where my mushroom details are. I prefer to have an outline. To work with, helps me visualize. And again, my outlines are always super shaky. So I am going to be going ahead and making this darker later. But that just sort of gives me something to work with. And I'm going to color the underside of the mushroom here. And it's okay in this stage if you're going over the lines or whatever. Again, this is only my outline so I can see what I'm doing. I am going to go, and when I'm done and making my final outlines, I'll go and fix all that up later. Now comes the fun part. Now you just basically start to decorate your mushroom. And anything goes with a mushroom cap. I love to do stripes and polka dots with mine. Why, I don't know. There are no mushrooms that exist in the real world that look like the mushrooms I create. But I've never claimed to do realism. That's certainly nothing that I paint. I don't know how to do real, scientific pictures of mushrooms or animals, that sort of thing. That's just not where my strengths are. And people say, sure, you could learn. Absolutely, I could learn. But the thing is, I'm not really interested. I like the style that I do. Now, I'm going to make a big white circle here, which is eventually going to be a little window. Because remember, we're making a little mushroom house. So, just making my shapes that will be little windows later. And it's always going to look a little bit, unfinished at this point. I believe things really start to come together when you add your outlines. So I am going to just start adding a few little outlines here again, so I know what I'm doing. And don't sweat your outlines, because as you can see, I'm sure mine do not look perfect. Gonna outline my little window here. And just gonna touch up my underside here, what you would call the gills. And just gonna go and color in a bit of my door, or my stalk there. Okay, so we've got the startings of our little mushroom house. Got your stalk, got a little door, that's going to be a window, and then some of the spots on the top. And this is where you can kind of customize it yourself. You can, add different dots. You can add different lines. I'm just going to go ahead and do some quick outlines here. And I know my hand is shaky, and that's perfectly fine. Just gonna color over my yellow dots again, just to give them a little bit more coverage. And we will just make our window another. And just make it. Okay, so I'm going to let those parts dry and then come back and we will start to add some details. Okay, so I have made my outline slightly thicker with a medium point 3M Posca because I do like the dark outline, as I've mentioned earlier, and because I have shaky hands, that helps to just disguise it a little bit. I'm now going to go and just outline some of my circles to give a little bit more interest, right? It's just so it's not a plain circle. And you can add anything you want into here. And I'm just gonna make some darker outlines here. This is just my personal style. I'm gonna make this a little crossed window, and we will just make that one little window. Then I just like to put, I say the details really pull your picture together. Once you start adding these little things, it is going to start to pop. I'm going to take something in a little bit of a lighter color and just start to add some lighter dots. In my opinion, the more fun little details you can add are really what make a mushroom rock fun. I kind of have a problem, and I've mentioned it in several of my other videos on the social media. I don't really know when to stop. So it's not unusual for me to completely add more and more and more details when I probably really should just stop. I am just gonna add some quick little grass, and that's just sort of grounding the picture, right? To give it a little bit of grounding, so it's not just, you know, a mushroom floating on a rock. We've sort of grounded it and given it some perspective. So super easy. Again, these guys are so much fun to do because you really can make it your own. I've used the Tuliart acrylic brush pens with automatic flow control. This one has 36 colors, yes. And you do get 2 black and 2 white, which is the ones you're going to use a lot of. So make them your own. Do some mushroom houses and find out how creative and fun you can get. If you like this video and you want to see more like this and paint along with me, hit that like and subscribe button and sign up at GoRockGo.com, where you can hide your rocks with a unique tracking code.